Hey everyone, today I've got your Rango movie review. And this movie is a sort of like Nickelodeon animated movie that is directed by Gore Verbinski and starring Johnny Depp as a chameleon. And of course, these two have worked together on Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's no mistake that this movie is going to be awesome. And of course, I watched it. I was a little bit skeptical. I thought, oh, it's just another animated movie, but I thought that the one thing that really stood out to me was Johnny Depp playing the voice of a chameleon who dubs the name Rango early on in the movie. And basically, he comes to the Mojave Desert after he is basically stranded, coming out of his owner's truck that swerved out of the way and almost got in an accident, of course. He goes to this town called Dirt, and he meets all these unscrupulous characters like Roadkill, who he meets, and is an armadillo. I thought it's just hilarious, of course, voiced by Alfred Molina, who's like an amazing actor, so I really like that. And also he meets a girl iguana named Beans, who is played by Isla Fisher, and of course I was like, wow, like, she's a really good actress. Like, I mean, I could hardly recognize her voice as well as Johnny Depp. Like, I know he's known for playing these really wacky, crazy characters, and I know he's done some previous voice work for some other animated movies. But this one, I just, like, at first I couldn't tell it was Johnny Depp's voice until later on in the movie, where his voice, like, that I've heard in his other movies started to come out. And basically, Rango has to, after he gets appointed to being a sheriff by this tortoise who is played by Ned Beatty, and of course, if you've seen Toy Story 3, you may recognize him as being the Lots of Huggin' Bear. So I was thinking, like, I had no idea who was, like, playing the voice actors except for Johnny Depp, so I knew that he was the only one that I could recognize. And then I recognized his voice, and I was like, wait a minute, that tortoise sounds like that crazy bear. So obviously, he definitely played off his character as being, like, sort of the meanie tortoise. Man, hate tortoises. But anyway, so after Rango gets appointed to being the sheriff, and of course he just randomly starts talking to these characters who he mistakes as these prospectors who are really bank robbers, because there's this bank and it holds the whole town's, like, water supply, and the water gets stolen, so Rango has to set up a crew that will go and hunt them down and get the water back for the entire town, because I really like this whole, like, rain dance scene that they sort of did. I thought that was really clever, and because it's sort of like the Wild West theme, I also liked that aspect, because they all seem so just, like, so southern, and just the way that they interact with each other. I really like that, and of course I could see all of the different, like, personalities and emotions coming out of all the different animals that were in the movie. And once they sort of go out and they have to find the water, and they start to get a sense of, like, okay, like, Rango, he's just this, like, random chameleon who's just playing this guy, but of course he plays his character well. I really liked Johnny Depp in this movie, and I think he was perfect to play the lead role, and I just have to give it up to him for that. And when they go find the water, and then they have to do this whole, like, sort of battle with the other, like, enemy animals, oh my god. It was, like, the coolest thing I've ever seen, and that was probably since Toy Story 3 came out, when they were sort of banding together to fight the enemy. And I really liked that, and it, so I really liked that part of the movie. And also, I could have sworn I heard, like, Antonio Banderas in this movie, but apparently not. So there's no Antonio Banderas in this movie. I just thought, like, okay, there's these owls who like have these like sombreros, and they're like just sort of rocking out with the guitars and just like their musical instruments, and they're sort of just like hanging around everywhere. And they're kind of like, they reminded me of the mice that were in Babe, the movie Babe, and that's another animal movie if you aren't familiar with that. And I really like that, and they're sort of just like chilling, just like little random side note. And also I really liked Isla Fisher's character Beans, and I just gotta say, like, that was the craziest iguana ever. Just like freeze, and it was just like that. Just like they called it it was like a defense mechanism, and I just really like that, and the relationship between Beans and Rango, just sort of how two people could sort of just come together after being like two separate, like being in two separate worlds, so to speak. So I really like that about it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say. There's no spoilers because I can't even think of any right now, and I think this is just too good of a movie that you just have to see totally fresh and with no spoilers or anything, because I think this is such a cute movie. And you can disagree with me, but I think this probably, and I even said this after I saw it for the first time, and I said this movie is probably one of the best animated movies I've ever seen since Toy Story 3. So definitely check out this movie if you haven't seen it. There's a lot of amazing actors who are playing the voices of characters in this movie, and some of whom you'll probably recognize. And so let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Rango, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. What is your favorite animated movie of all time? Let me know, and you guys can also subscribe to my channel. I've got movie reviews, movie updates, and come back every week for my Trailer Thursday videos. And you guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.